much for stopping by. And hey, look, Restream has a little thing now, a little red live dashboard thing. That's cool. It didn't have that before. At least I don't remember that being there. And go to my channel just to check the YouTubers. Yep, showing up alive. And I mean, that's pretty cool. Go to my channel just to check the YouTube. Can't hear myself there. I don't really care to hear myself. So what are we doing here? All right. Well, I fixed the other PEGN stuff and corrected the AST. If you tuned in to the last time we did this, you'll remember that we were really short. The AST was pretty short because these token definitions were not there, and that was a problem because we only had the first two, and that was mostly because of multi-line stuff. So just to recap from last time, so we had this grammar PEGN thing, and there was a change to the spec that hadn't been represented in the original master parser that we built by hand, which is what the PEGN tool I'm using was using. So we had to rebuild that, and I had to do a lot of error correction on that. And if you want to follow any of that, that's now been committed to the PEGN repo on GitLab and to the spec, which I'm about to fix up here a little bit too. And ultimately, that's going to be represented in the code generator. There are a number of pretty substantial, not a number, there's one pretty substantial design error that I realize I'm going to have to run into, so I threw away the smaller AST with node types. And that's because the check IDs, the ones that only have one dash in the arrow, are not going to be represented in the one file parser, which makes them out of sync number wise with the other one. And if I needed any further convincing to dump our original parser and to keep that branch and that tag around, the tag right now is first gold. So if you ever had to go back to it, we could go do that if we ever really broke our parser. But once we get the one file parser working and the code generation working, I'm just not going to be looking back at that. Pretty much, I'm going to keep it, and which means I'm about to dispose of a lot of stuff. Namely, when I first discovered this, I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to throw this out. And now, I thought it was so cool. I actually put it in the parsing parameter syntax, which is just so stupid. Now looking back, I just realized how dumb it was. I mean, the whole definition of an abstract syntax tree is creating a rooted node tree so you can use it for compilation and code generation and symbol table generation and everything for making a language, which I've never done. I've never made a programming language before, or any language of any kind. I made little snippets of things, but I've never made an entire language where it uses the AST. The AST is just one part of the compilation step. You parse the thing up, you get an AST, and then you get a parse tree, which is like the incoming data for a new language. And then you use AST to apply to it, and then you take all that and you add all the code together and create your symbol tables and everything, and so you end up with an executable or something that you can use. And I'm actually going through that exact process right now. I have never read anything on this process. I'm just going to be very open about that. I'm not computer science formally trained. I've read a lot about it, and I continued. Well, I've read about generic parsing approaches, but there's a couple of books I'm looking at right now, the Dragon book and the other compilers book, which I need to go into because I really want to firm my knowledge up of what comes next. And this has been a really good exercise to do that, because the what comes next is walking the tree and generating the code, and that's what I need to do right now. This thing I was doing with like parameters, I thought was kind of cute. Hey, we can identify how things come in order. It was simplifying. That was a nice way to simplify the initial generator, which is fine, but it was kind of a waste actually. And so I'm going to delete it. And you know, a lot of people that Ethan comes to mind. He's like, man, this is so cool. It's like so much simpler. It is, but it's actually not once we get to the automated part. And that's kind of what I want to get to. So I'm deleting that out of the spec. I don't want that anywhere near anything for a long time. And so here's the JSON grammar. This is actually also incorrect, which I'll come back and fix later. The reason is because, as I said, anything that's insignificant is still showing up, is still incrementing the node type ID, and it should not be. So the only way to get around that is there's two ways around that. One of them is that we actually implement check functions that are called, and then the data or the nodes that result in the check functions are then inherited. And I know that's unless you've been following this, you don't know what that means. But so there's two types of functions that show up out of this. They're both sort of parse functions, but I've been calling the one a node. Where is it? Let me go to the top. But one of them is called a node definition and a check definition. The node definition has two dashes, which means that it's significant, and it gets the stuff inside of it is turned into a node in an AST. The check definitions are stuff that essentially are just groupings, equivalent to parentheses in regular expression syntax. And they really shouldn't have, and they don't have any business being given an identifier or anything. It just makes it more convenient when that first round when you're doing it by hand. And then I added to my node tree, I added adopt from to the node tree so that it can kind of open up a node and grab all its children and adopt those and give them to them. But you definitely don't want that in any final version of a parser, because it's not that much extra overhead, but it's completely unnecessary if you can inline the same logic from the check definition. Is it going to overly complicate how the generated check functions look and appear? We'll see. But the result of that, by doing an inline code generation for any, if I have so basically like this, for example, let's take this token value, right? So this token def, right? So it says token value. The only reason token val is there is because I don't want to write, hey, Greg, I don't want to write all of this stuff there. Right? I want to be able to list it and make it easy for me as a human to read it. So that's why I only have the one, right? And that's well and good. But what I need to do is I need to expand the code represented by these things so that it takes the place of this thing. So as if this had been written with this stuff there. And frankly, there's no, technically I could write that there and then make this entire grammar so it doesn't have any sort of idea about check functions at all. It just has only these other functions. But I find that to be somewhat limiting. And there's this notion of identifiers that are not being saved. It's pretty common in other languages. They have different ways of doing it, but this is my way. I think it's just really obvious. It's also going to come in really handy when we start to do inline parsing, which I can't wait to do, because then that way we can say, so if it's just a bunch of check functions, we can say, okay, I can call the check function instead of the I can do check logic on the thing instead of parse logic, and the parse logic, it hits memory and a bunch of other things that slow it all down. If you're just trying to validate whether it matches or not, then that's one thing. So when we get to the point where we're doing inline stuff, a lot of the inline is going to be it's going to be doing just check functions, and so we'll be able to allow that to be different, to specify differently. The question as to whether the check functions are represented in code in addition to the node parsing functions is still up for grabs. I think that's going to be a factor of the PEGN generator, and that's fine. There will be different logic applied when we're walking the tree and we're doing it inline, but I don't want to mix the efforts. I'm talking about two efforts here. One of them is generating the code, which I want to focus on right now, and the other one is inline parsing and validation, which will come later. But it's sort of related to the two things. So we're going to return back to, so I've already deleted that. I'm just going to commit this really quick. Git commit, drop, expect parameter syntax completely, and I'm never gonna show it again. That's only gonna exist in that first master. It was kind of a fun exercise, but we're not gonna do that. This, by the way, is gonna automatically update the website, PEGN.dev. If you're interested in following along, PEGN.dev is where this spec is written and all these files live. But you'll see now this stuff should go away any second now. Let's make sure it goes away. I'm just refreshing here, drinking my coffee. I should do the auto refresh. There is a way to do that. I'm so dumb. I forgot to generate it. So there we go. Whoopsie. Git add dash a dot. I wish I could do an amend, but I already pushed it. Oh well. And that should work. It doesn't take very long, man. It's usually that's what I knew something was up. It usually goes pretty fast. Yeah. So there we go. This is all dead too. We're gonna take that out, but anyway, this short form link is busted too, and the reason for that is, I mean, it should be broke. I should have taken that away. The short form AST is that should not be happening. Anyway, I'll fix that later. It's not important right now. This is a sample of the long form, and the long form is actually really important, much more important than. I mean, the short form is great for storage and everything, but what I keep coming back to is if you actually, strictly speaking, you can just make a JSON long form AST and generate code out of it. Yeah, when this is done, you won't even have to like parse a thing. You can actually generate code for the AST directly from just writing the JSON file, which the prospects of that are really exciting. That means that people can actually make languages through some sort of graphic UI. And then render them by generating code for Go and other languages eventually, which is going to be pretty fucking cool. All right, so that satisfies my need to get that over with. So again, back to code generation. So yeah, this sast.json is totally bork, and this one needs to be updated. So spec, I'm working on the branch here, PEGN go file one file, in case you guys are wondering, so that master is still there for people that are using it. I don't want to break that for them. But AST-long is really the only one that we can use. And actually, this brings me to another problem. Greg, we need to get the AST-long parser working because the numbers are incorrect in the other one. And yeah, so yeah, just thinking here. Either time, you know what? I think we might have a different issue though, because it's like a chicken and the egg thing. You know what? I think I think we're gonna be. It's kind of funny because we have to parse this tree in order to walk it to get the node IDs, but in order to generate the node IDs. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fake it in this first version of the parser, and we're going to generate those IDs that way because here's why. The inline checks are not going to increment. And this is kind of hard to explain, but let me go. I don't know if I need it tonight or not. We're going to find out. So here's the PEGN Go. So here's the issue, right? So we have this right now, but this includes checks because of the way the by hand version does it. what it does is it doesn't do any inlining, right? So we could write the code and keep it simple, relatively simple and understandable as humans. And what we end up doing is we gave all these constants life that are not. It's not. You know what? I think I just figured out a way to fix this. I do. I think I figured out a way to fix it. If it's what I probably need to do is redefine this constant thing and recompile it, and then we'll get the right IDs. Ooh, that's the way to do it. So because then I can use the IDs and nobody's gonna care, but the IDs will be positive. So yeah, that's the way to do it. Because here's what's going on. So like for example, if I have that's not it. Where are you? So here we have like a range, right? So range is insignificant, but range still has an ID in here. So what ends up happening is, God damn it. Where are you? Nope. 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 Yeah. So range is in here, and so range is insignificant, but it still bumps the constant up by 1. You see what I'm saying? So the number is bad. So, and you know what? I just realized I think we might have actually fixed a big problem here. Because what I can do is we can make the insignificant ones increment. The only problem with that is if you, and this has always been a problem, is to use the compact form, you really, really need to make sure that you bump your versions of your grammar up, because if, say, for example, for some reason you wanted this to be contained, right? You just incremented all your constants by 1 by doing that. So you just put your arrays out of sync, and I know people would say, well, just use maps. I'm like, hell no. So we want those numbers, and those numbers are going to come in, and they're going to be extremely valuable when we do the simple table lookups during generation time today. So, but I do think I just figured out a way where we can have our cake and eat it too, and not have to change any of the other code. And what that would mean is creating that node table, that node types table was created by hand. And so we can create another one by hand where all of the insignificant ones are on the negative scale and all of the other ones are on the positive scale. And then I can give you some lookups that are going to be valid no matter what. I think that's the way to do it. Plus, I also think that's useful because, let's say down the road we actually want to keep those check IDs for some reason, and we want to actually have a lookup table for those check functions, assuming that somebody may potentially want to have every definition available as a function to run in the grammar, and they wouldn't. Then they could have the choice to not inline it. So this has extreme value across the board, and I have to do it. So yeah, this is a part of the code generation, but it's kind of indirectly related. Which means I need to do this, and no, I don't want to save it. Why are you even still open then? Whew. All right, so on the master, this is going to fix the problem with the out of sync AST as well. The long form is always going to be correct because it has the names in it, and the long form may be the long form is now taking on more significance than I would have given it before, because it's very valuable as an AST, and not as a parse tree, which is different. I've been reading about that. And parse tree is the actual data that you're evaluating against an AST. And so to summarize, the really short form is fantastic for parse trees that are designed to compare against an AST to see if they fit, right? And that's when the old traditional context-free grammar approach, apparently, that's the way you do it, right? You create a parse tree without any syntax on it at all, and then you compare it to the abstract syntax tree and say, okay, does this line up? And that validation, it's good to know that that's the standard way to do it, because that's kind of the way I was arriving at doing it pragmatically. which is always fun. It's always fun to realize that the way that you're kind of thinking through how to do a problem turns out to be the way that's documented in every textbook ever made. It's like, oh, yeah, somebody already figured that out. It's like, okay, you know, but how many, you don't anyway. So, so we're gonna do this. So that means that the current form is that we need to rethink how to do those nodes. Now this is going to break some of the testing. It's already broken the node test here, which I had to comment out, but that's fine. That nobody's going to die because that got rewritten. But yeah, so we need to go into this node thing, and we need to actually by hand make a list of constants that are. And I could probably shell script this pretty easily, so we'll figure that out. And we're gonna do negatives this time, so that we get the numbers. I mean, I could just do it by hand. It's really not that hard. I know we have another one here. What is all this stuff up here? Nope, we need you. Where are you? Oh, there we go. I need this one, and then I need this one. All right, so it's not that hard. Let's just do this. Let's just grep just the one that's going to give me everything, but oh well. I'll do one arrow and a space, and that'll give me. And there's that many insignificant things. Temp foo. Yeah, temp foo. So from here on down, all the classes are automatically out. So these are all the ones. This is a list of constants that we need. Yes, I could have done this much easier. I'm about ready to be done by the time I would have written it, though. So, except for that one. Oh, I paid enough time on that one that now I'm suffering the consequences. All right, so, and these are in order. So this is fine here. We need to do this one be equal iota, equal minus iota, plus 1. And that should give me the range from -1 to whatever. And then I just need to delete these out. Yeah. End of line definition, language version, token val, simple. What else we got? Spacing, rule, primary, quant is out too. I think quant range and ruin. Quant range and ruin. All right, so that is an exact replica of the proper numbers, and the cool thing about that is I don't have to change any of the other code, because it's still just going to be an integer, and I'm not doing any checks here against the in the node test. I was against the generated types, but then I got rid of that and went back to testing against the long form, which is much more sustainable. And we still pass. Okay, so yeah, that should be good to go. Let's actually compare those. So if I go back to the spec here, and just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So if I use the current PEGN tool to generate the AST for the grammar, and I write it to ast.json, it's also a lot longer now, by the way, with all the check defs. So there we go. And you can see that there's actually numbers in here. So for example, the number for definition is 22 right now, right? Well, it's gonna be less than that because we're gonna delete out the the check-based IDs, and they're going to be negative. So we're going to start seeing negative numbers in here. And honestly, I kind of like that. I like the idea of having these significance be negative, because then if somebody wants to make an AST with the negative numbers, they can just skip it. They can just skip them, but they can still use them, and then they can still use a table lookup to get the first-class functions to do the checks. You know, that are going to be, well, they're not first class. They're going to be callbacks, kind of, not really callbacks. Anyway, so super happy with that. But now I need to rebuild the other tool real quick. So I'm actually going to do a save here. Git commit. Wait. And then git commit. What? Oh. Factored check defs into, okay, gave check defs negative node types, negative type integers. So yeah, git push on that guy. And let me go back into the PEGN tool and rebuild it. And so this should just install, no problem. And we can get into the spec again. And if I do a new one, this one should be different. So I don't know, let's check. Git diff ast1.diff. Oh, well, that was stupid. Diff ast1.json. They're still the same. What did I do wrong? Oh, I wonder if well, you know what? I never checked my constants, did I? Did I do something wrong? I didn't do any testing on the constant ID changes, which I should probably do. You know what? You know what else I didn't do? God damn it. I do this all the time. Watch me end up with errors. I didn't do my full tests. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I don't know what. That's what got me into the problem earlier tonight, is I forgot to do a full. Do not forget that, people. That's what really killed me, because I thought I had a gold version earlier, and I just did it again. So don't be me. Make sure you remember to run all of your tests. CI/CD, maybe, Greg. I don't know if it's going to be worth the hassle to put it in there, though. But yeah, it would have caught that, right? Because the automated CI/CD wouldn't have been dumb, and it would have remembered to do the arguments on there. So yeah, that makes good sense. We probably need to start putting some of that on there. And GitLab, of course, is great for that. Yeah, but I'm not willing to add that much overhead for now. Just not. I know I eventually need to do it, but that's like, you know, I just, no. I know what you mean, though. I mean, if I was going to do it with a full test team. Plus, I also, committing to master is scary and bad. I know it is. It scares everybody. But when you're working on a project that's not at the alpha level yet, I feel like it's okay, because I don't want to get there yet. But I hear what you're saying. Eventually, we want to do that. Plus, I don't want to burn up a bunch of CI/CDs compute on GitLab, because they just limited, and I know I would, because of the amount of commits that I do, which is also bad. I get it. So more importantly, is it would be if I wrote my own test script, you know, and that's kind of what I should be doing. In fact, that's what GOTT is for me. It's kind of my little tester. The difference is that I dropped the /.. from it, which I had built into it before, because I wanted to be able to provide individual testing. So I'm not saying it's a good practice. It's just faster than the other one. But so far it's burned me twice. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking that I might need to do that. I would never, you know, I would never work in a production environment with other people on this. But again, this is pre-alpha. Yeah, right. Every time other stuff is overkill for now. Well, you know, so yeah, you know, so yeah, I actually have that, and that's what my thing is. So PEGN. I definitely want to get it in there for sure, but you know, so the thing I need to do now is just remember my things, and this just does my detection and everything. All right, so actually, this is the master, not one file, which is fine. We have some panic error going on because it can't get the right master. It can't look up the things, which I would expect because I was kind of surprised that it passed the test so easily. This is happening because the IDs are out of sync, which is fine. So let's see, minus 12. See this? So that's cool. So that means my index is working. That just means that I didn't make a well, first of all, there's no such thing as the ability to do minus indexes. So that means that my lookup is going to have to look up the negatives. You can set up a hook and get run test before commit. Yep, yeah, I know. I've done it actually. I used to do that inside local stuff too, which is nice. And that's way easier. I think that's great to do as like a backup for you, just to make sure right before you commit that it fails. I like that idea a lot, and I think we should do that. I used to do that. I used to do that for auto generation. So like my knowledge net thing, I would have it auto build this thing before it committed. The problem we have here is that since we went with a negative for the types, obviously you can't do a negative index against my array for the lookups on the names, which is a problem because this stuff down here, right? In fact, we didn't isolate all of these. We didn't eliminate all of these from that. So cd PEGN go. And yeah, so I'm going to have to get rid of these. So first step first. So first I have to get rid of them. Definition, language, version, token vol, simple, space, oopsie. Get you go out. Spacing, rule, primary, quant. All right, so those should at least sync up if I did everything right. And again, why not a map? Because maps are slow. And I don't want a map for this stuff. They're fast, but they're slow. So now we have to get by. Well, what do we do with the reverse? Because you can't have negative integers. And what we're going to have to do is do a different one for types. And I'm actually going to change this. This is going to definitely break stuff. And that's fine. I don't care. I'm going to do nodes for this. And I'm going to do checks for the next one. Checks. Okay, and then the checks are going to be just what we have from the other list. I mean, there's lots of ways I could do this. Let's just get rid of them all. This doesn't take very long to write them. Definition. A language. Token vol. Simple. I gotta agree with you, Greg, on the whole mixed case typing thing. Much faster to type than underscores. I've been watching that today while I've been doing stuff. And so, I mean, in terms of visibility, I agree with Mac on that, but so now what we need to do, so if it's a check, I think this is getting closer to where we need to be. Now we just need to add a negative number on this. Inline. And you know what? I'm gonna check something in here. I'm just gonna add a test real fast because I want to make sure I got the iota right. an issue with visibility, but I can understand it. Yeah, you know, but I was like testing, and I was like, you know, I was just like, like, uh, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of, again, the remorse is getting to me because as much as I love the C style, it's not Go style, right? So, you know, Go very explicitly says mixed case. So does Python. People use Python says to use snake case in PEP 8, and I see mixed you know, camel case all the time. So yeah, um, we're gonna do test nodes, testing, and yeah, we're just gonna do. Okay. And go. No. ND. Um, and I just want to make sure that what is the first one? Comment line is a thing. It's my good one. Okay, that's good. Um, ah, fuck. What the fuck? Come on, Rob. There you go. If conflict does not equal 1, fail, fatal, you messed up iota for checks. Okay. Yep, -1. And let's do nodes. I mean, I just want to nodes. Just like hitting and missing on these guys. Unknown should be 0. 0 should be unknown. Unknown. Is it undefined? I think it's undefined. Undefined. Yep. Thank you. Just to check that. Yeah, but to kind of give you a sense of this, so let's go back and look at this AST. This is why it's an issue. So right now, definition is 22, right? Well, let's force that to be a fail. If ignition, I'm going to fail on purpose because I want to see what the actual number is. I don't think you can do error messages with this. I think you have to do error for that. Yeah. Definition is off. What? Oh. Well, yeah. Duh. All right. So yeah, definition is not 22. Let's look for one that actually comment. So comment would have been comment. What? Wait. Wait. Oh, no. That is 22 is not a definition. That is something else. That's not what it is. That's the identifier. So I believe that 22 is the identifier. I guess a token ID. Yeah, it is. So I think it's token. It's either token def or token ID. Is it def? 19. Huh. Huh. Hermagerd. So let's see here. So grammar meta copyright. Let's do actually anything down here that's like a lower number. Let's get one we know. So grammar is one. So we had all this other stuff that got chopped out, right? So copyright and licensed got caught out. So that means licensed over here. Licensed is actually home. Here's one. So home is 9. I know that one. I recognize it. This is minor version, right? By the way. No, that's pre-version. Let's look at pre-version. So pre-version, that's one we know. Those are kind of nice and low. So no, version pre. And version pre, what are you talking about? I forgot it. Wait a second. Why are they so far down here? That seems weird. Oh, minor ver. Pre-ver. Like, what am I doing, right? I want to actually prove that some of these are off. So pre-ver is 16. I was looking for one that was like low. Let's see. Copyright. Let's stick with copyright. That is really clear to identify. So copyright here is 10. So this is the point I'm trying to make. This is not going to be 10 anymore, right? This is going to be like 6 or 8 or something. So that's what I'm trying to prove here. So because we took them out, we took all the check defs out. So I'm going to guess 6. It's just a total guess. We can actually count it though, right? So copyright, actually no, copyright should be 0, 1, 2, 3. Copyright should be 3. There. That's why I wanted one closer to the beginning so I could count. The bad thing about IOTA is that you actually can't see the numbers. You know, if you get down here, you can't look them up. So kind of makes it tough. So actually that's what we want. And that's all I want to do. But my point I'm trying to make is that this is no longer accurate, which means that the short form of the AST that's stored is false. It's wrong. And the reason for that is because the checks are forcing incrementing of the IDs artificially, and that's why I'm trying to make them negative. Now we still get this error because when we're doing parsing and printing, I can't look it up, so I have to detect that it's a particular type, and if the number is negative, I'm going to have to do something special with it. So, and that's that's totally acceptable. So yeah, it's trying to look for a negative number. So it can't find the index. It's out of range because it's a negative. You can't have negative index numbers, obviously. So I don't know where that is. I imagine it's from. I could probably track it down in the check def. Okay, it's in the check def test, and that calls it from examples test example. Check def single, which is AST check definition, so it's actually higher than that. It's actually in the parser. Look at the trace here. AST expression, no. Sequence, no. Rule, no. It's all the call chain. Primary.go, AST primary, simple. AST rune, AST. So now we need to get to the bottom of that. Expression check def. So it's actually the check def is, I'm trying to look up the number. Oh, right. No, you know what it is? It's the print. It's got to be line 12. I bet you anything. So examples. Whoops. Check def is trying to print it, and it can't because it's looking up the negative number, and it's not showing me that's. Yeah. So check def single line 12 here. Yeah. Interesting. So it's not 13. It says it's 12 actually. So. But I'm thinking it's getting called right here. Yeah, that fixed it. Well, no, it didn't. What am I talking about? That's not going to do anything. It's going to say, fine, we'll give you some. Fine. Um, um, I'm trying to identify if it's in here or if it's in. That was dumb. So, check def echo line 34. That's what we needed. AST check def error expression. This is where it's getting called. Pinch out. I mean, this is all fine. It's not getting triggered till the print. I'm telling you. So, I have to pee. Give me a sec. All right. Mm. It's got to be the print. Yep. Another thing too is it's looking up under types, so we have to do the detection here. Yep. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to pass in. I'm gonna have to pass the checks in now because it doesn't have. You know what? So many great reasons to make a single parser out of this. This is another one. Because I'm going to try to say I want to get checks here. It's like there's no such thing as types. There should be nodes now. And this should be checks. And that means I have to redefine what a node is. So this is just so, look, again, this is all going to get chucked. I just have to get it to the point where we have the things working. And then anytime I do a node creation, I've got to set those on the node. I don't want to do this if I can get away with it. I don't want to do this because it's annoying. Yep, types. I was afraid of that. So, fuck. I mean, this will get us through tonight, but yeah. This is one of those things where it's like, I mean, this is worth it. This is worth it because the numbers, the integer type values are going to be the same consistently with our first golden version of, by hand parser and our auto-generated parser. They will be in sync. And that is really important. And that's going to allow me to go forward. That was, yeah, I mean, that was because I don't want people to start, hard coding numbers that are wrong. That means I have to do some really convoluted shit for this first gold, which means I have to do, I got sucked into this earlier today too. I don't like doing this, but it's required. And this is just, again, it's like I have to maintain the first version, even though it's shit, because if I don't, I don't have the tool I need to build to the next level. And a lot of these realizations would not have happened had we not gone straight to code generation. In fact, in hindsight, I'm just going to say for the record, this will go down in my log. In hindsight, the right way to do this would have been to start with a JSON AST representation and to build a code generator off of that from the beginning. That would have been by far the best way to save on time and errors. But that was not something that a beginner could certainly do. And another reason that I was doing this is I wanted to help people learn. And jumping right into code generation with inline checks that are not calling separate functions is like so hairy, because there's nothing really that you can't really test anything. Because you have to, it's hard to test the code generator because you have to have the generated code in order to test it. And so yeah, having this like by hand version is valuable, and that's what I continue to maintain. I don't know if that's the best approach to the whole thing. If somebody with more formal computer science training could probably address this better than me. But I believe that's one of the ways that I can help novices get their head around it. So I did have one novice really dig into this idea and wrote all the checks, and I think he understood the way that the parse functions are linked together, and that I think was really key for him to like make a practical thing. So I just have to change the constructor, which is not a constructor; it's just it's new node. So the new node takes the nodes, we'll call it types, and then we'll call it checks, and we'll give nodes here, checks. This is, I mean, it's a slice, so it's not as heavy as it looks. It's essentially just a pointer. It is just a pointer. But now, of course, I have to do the whole file changing. And any place I have a new node, which is only in the AST if I remember right. Node. This guy can go away. I don't need you anymore. All right, yeah, we have PEGN new node everywhere. Almost all in the AST as I thought. Yep. So this is not too hairy of a change. This is, again, people who tell me to use an IDE, this is when they get to say, see, I told you. But I'm just going to use some Perl Pi. And I guess I can put a G in there. And we're going to replace new node. Oh God, I'm going to have to keep, it's going to have to be a find and replace. I should probably just do it on one file first. Or should I live super dangerously? I can always pull them back out, but so we need everything in between there. Actually, we just need the first up to the non-comma. So non-comma pluses and then a comma, and we'll put that in a thing. So that will capture that as a /1, so I can do that in replacement. And this stuff here we don't care about. So I'm just gonna do not parenthesis plus, and we're gonna replace that with new node. Don't need the escapes here now because it's the replacement side. And I'm going to replace it with the output from the capture from 1, and then nd.nodes and nd.checks, and that should do it. I'm going to do it on one file first to make sure it works. AST quant.go unmatched. Well, I would have been surprised if I got it on the first one. Another problem with doing this on the command line is you have to sometimes double escape stuff. So even with the single bracket, single quotes. Yeah, for some reason it's not matching my. You know what? It will do greedy, but it's not a parentheses. So I think now they have two problems. So yeah, I know you're thinking about doing macros for the whole thing, right? Probably the right way to go. So let's see here. This guy is not happy. I mean, I know that I can't do, I could just do a word character. What am I talking about? Let me just do a word character or a dot. That's easier. It's this thing that's killing me right there. So let's do this. Let's just do, because what are they? It's like nd.types, right? So I can do a period or a word character. And let's see what that does. Unmatched regex. Where are you? No, that one I matched. So what's the deal? Oh, you know what? Why is that not working right there? That part should totally work. Oh my God. What did I actually do that? I did. This is really stupid. So it's not a comma I want. Oh, no, that should work. That should totally work. I think it's because, there's a space here. Yes, there is. A much thing in a thing. Do 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 do. That's totally fine. Why are you mad at me? You know why? Because of single quotes. I have to double quote the things. Yeah. Well, um, 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 um. I think the problem is that the quotes are being affected by because they're on the shell. I mean, this would totally work if it were on the shell. Unmatched thing. Let's do this. Maybe I can match something more specific. Actually, I can. I can make this much easier. Why the fuck am I doing it that way? I'm kind of sad. All I really need to change is nd.types. So nd.types can be matched for, why did I have to make it so complicated, dumbass Rob? All right, nd dot, what is it? Nodes, and then, ooh, I can't do a comma. That's probably why it was messing with me. Aha, I get it. I'm sorry, Perl. Nodes, comma, comma, space, nd dot checks. Yay, much happier. Watch. Quant.go, and so, yep, that did it. That's all I needed. The command, you know what it was? It was the backslash escapes. Your ranges are getting hard. So that one is fine. And I can just apply that to everything now. So we're going to do it to AST/.go. Boom. And that should have done it. Ambiguous selector n.nodes. Duplicate field nodes. Oh shit. What did I do? What have I done? Nodes, line 16. What the fuck? Oh, ha. I already had one called nodes. And it was a nodes, which was not a thing. Please tell me I don't have the grammar here. Oh, shit. Really? God damn it. See, this is the problem I had. I was like in the middle of doing the grammar thing, and I tried to rip it out so I could just get it to work. Yeah, I know. You know what? Watch me. I'm going to watch. I'm going to do it. Grammar was like premature. Yep. So. Yep. No, the types is undefined, has no method field types. 285. And dot, and dot, nodes. Undefined grammar, of course. Of course. No, you can die. Hi. Undefined class and check in class. And this because I did the old school shit. Yeah, because and here the structures are still, they're still structs and they're not the new improved ones, which is fine. It's just annoying. These should have been structs instead of these implementations of the alpha shit. All right, fine. I'll bring it back. Check out. I just want to get out of this. Okay, grammar. Check out grammar.go. And I will mess with this. You know what? All I really need is nodes. Nodes can die. I mean, I do need this later, but not for now. Undefined nd.nodes. What are you talking about? Did I not call it nd.nodes? What did I call it? God damn it. I swear to God I changed that. Please tell me I didn't check out all my changes and undo them. Yeah, alrighty. That's not it. Node, what am I typing? 24. Type name, don't need that. Indeed.checks. I swear to God, did I not create? I guess I must not have. I guess I don't remember making it, so it's probably the. I swear to God, I made one. Somehow, did I check it out and restore? You know what? My constants are still here. I must have not saved it. That's the only thing I could figure. And it really feels like I broke something there. So no. So now we need. I know you're like, wait, why are you doing that? This is painful. I'm sorry. It's painful for y'all. It's just how I am. And we shall transform this. Never you fear. And I'm going to. I don't know how to do. Greg, do you know how to do a substitution, a ranged substitution, so that I can replace this with? I know how to wrap it another way with a macro, but I'm just curious. This is a good chance to do that. I don't know what the X thing here is. So because you can't match regions, I don't think in VI. How's your X substitutions? Of course, they're different than Perl regular expressions, right? So I've you know what? I'm going to take this as a learning opportunity. Yeah, can I use parent? You know what? Let's actually try it. Yeah, I've been you know what? This is one of those things I've been wanting to do. Well, see, because the regex is just in case anybody's watching is wondering what's going on. Regex is in X, which is what happens anytime you use VI. When you use VI, you're actually using X. And you know, as you saw me doing substitution, you know, like I don't know what you want to call it, but you know, the parentheses gathers on the right hand side. I'm sorry, on the left hand side of a substitution, the parentheses gathers all the data from there, so that you can then /1 reference it from the other side, and that's available in awk and you know, I think it's in sed too. I don't use sed a lot, but I know it's in Perl, but the regular expression implementation in X, which is what you use when you use VI on the command line, I don't think it has the capture. So we're about to find out. So I'm going to replace this current line with the dot. So with S, and in case you're wondering why I always have to delete the exclamation point, it's because my fingers have just memorized all the magic wand or the exclamation points because I use them for so many other things. Hey, Last Miles. Hey, dude, how do you know if the X command line substitutions have parenthetical sort of, you know, groupings? I've never tried it. We're just trying it right now, and it's a good chance, better chance, just as good a chance as any. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, I want to, oh God, I don't know. So like, is it regular? Is it just a regular, /1? Hi, I'm not quite ready, and no, I haven't done any moving. I will tomorrow. I'm not streaming. I'm just telling everybody tomorrow, other than like in the early morning hours when I'm drinking coffee, I'm not going to be streaming. I'm going to be cleaning the whole day.
Otherwise, I'm coming. I'm pulling the plug on you.
Yeah. Well, it's fine because we're going to be fine. We got plenty of time. Okay. How did your thing go? I figured. All right, let's do this. I'm using big words. So let me do this. All right. So bing, bing. And we're going to replace, so first of all, I want to find, you can't do word substitution. I think you can do POSIX stuff. You know, this is just reminding me that I need to get better with my X regular expressions. Ed type commands all the time. Yeah. So you don't have /W. That's a Perl thing. As far as I know. Let's see, with something else. All right. Let's see if that works. I doubt it. Actually, no, that worked. Holy shit. So that's cool. Okay, so that's cool. Let's see that. So that's actually really good news if that's true. So then we can do. So I'm gonna take all the word characters. Oh fuck. You know what? That's another problem I have. I can't. I go to, I go to edit my thing, and so we're gonna put this. Whoopsie. This guy and W plus, and I want to replace it with this and a \1 and then this and then a comma, and that should be good. Crap. That's because it doesn't have Perl regex expansion. It's like something else, and that's annoying. It's really annoying. Um, I'm sorry. Given line, I just want to do the current line right now, my friend. You choose the line or set lines. Yes, I know that part, but PCRE is a no. That is a no. Yeah, and this is why. See, I was raised on PCRE, and thank God it's embedded in everything these days, but apparently not here. In fact, I think it's a star. I'm gonna try that. Nope, that is not it. Um, well, not in VI. That's right. So you don't need to. I don't think you need to escape the grouping. At least I don't know if you do. Actually, no, because X I know you have to escape the groupings, and you don't have to, and other shit. Yeah, that's I forgot about that. You have to. Okay, so people wonder whether they show the regex. This is why there's a huge book on it, because everything does it differently, and that's why I use PCRE stuff anytime I can. I'd rather use that than try to figure out which version of Knock, Gawk, X, Ed, or Perl is going to be valid. Vim script is even worse. Although Vim script regex has really great positive, negative look ahead and behind assertions, which other regexes do not have. This is stupid, fucking annoying like replacement. Nope. So no. So apparently that is not a thing. Have a problem, you need a regex. So the problem, you'll find you have two problems. That's funny because somebody just said that same thing to me. We're sure that need escaping. Okay, I actually think it's the plus, and yeah, that was it. All right, but yeah, that's definitely not my desired results. So a very famous quote by someone. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna figure this fucking thing out. I've been wanting to do this forever. Do you have ranges here? I mean, do you have? I wonder if I can do this. That would do it if that's a thing. They have ranges. This is not a range. This is a God. What do we want to call this? A card? Not a cardinality. It's what? Just limit. That's a very much a Perl regex limit. I have a feeling these have to be commented out too. Nope. All right, so fuck. So yeah, I just not happy. Now, I'd have no idea how to use regexes in X at all. Advanced technical terms today. I know I used the wrong one. Whoa, that was it. That was it. That worked. People, that worked. Oh my God. There was much rejoicing. Am I ever going to remember that? Hell no. In fact, I should probably write it down. I am. I'm going to write it down. Watch me. Because that will make me remember it better. Note. Just give me 1 second. As a good autodidact, today I learned that this works to do regex substitution in Vim. Technically, it's X. technically X. And I don't even know what to make of this, so I'm just going to put it here. You can do the plus if you escape it? No shit. Really? What? All right. Well, thank you for finding that out for me. That one we know works. Let's try this other one, and I shall manufacture a case for it right now. The idea of having to escape every one of the special characters is just like so fucking annoying. Seriously, it's like really? It was bad enough with a regex before I had to do all that shit. You know, and people said, the command line was hard. Somehow the command line not escaping things, right? Right? So I bet you it's because it actually passes it to the command line. What do you want to bet me? No, it wouldn't do that. That would be escaping a sub process. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to make that note. And so yeah, we're gonna do another one here. So I'm gonna go in here and change that to be a plus. And let's see if it works. It worked! Huzzah! So now what can I do? I can do the rest of them. Boom, boom, select the whole thing. Pull this down. And, oh god, are you going to make me type that whole fucking thing again? Fine, I will do it because it happens to be in my buffer. Alright, so backslash plus. And I'm looking. Okay, I'm ready. Oh shit. It didn't work. What did I do wrong, people? All right, wait. Oh, I did the dot. I am so stupid. So stupid. All right, here we go. There. Ta-da! Now I know how to do it next time. In fact, that needs to be... Can we just say that needs to be a macro? That needs to be a permanent macro. Because how many times do you want to quote and comment a thing, right? And somebody's probably already got an IDE trick for that, but yeah, that's like a really common thing. So that is definitely going in my VimRC someday, which it's not right now. So we have our checks are doing our thing. Type names undefined, which I don't think we need. Why do I even have that? I don't need that. Do I need that? Oh well. So type name. No, I don't need that. You know, Eric's, you know what, I'm going to fix this. You know what I'm going to do to fix this? This is exactly what I'm going to do to fix it. Like, that's not fair. You can't delete code to fix it. Oh yeah, I just did. Okay, again, this is like my throwaway first draft thing, and I'm just trying to get it to run again. It's the best code. Index out of range, -1. Okay, I'm doing something wrong, obviously, still. So it's trying to print, and it's still having the same problem with the printing. Oh, you know what it is? I have to reverse the case. I have to reverse the. Yeah, I know the problem. I'm 90% sure I know the problem. How about that? So yeah, I just need to reverse the polarity, like on Voyager. Reverse the polarity. Add a recursive algorithm. They use the most lame ass technical terms that mean nothing. In this case, I'm actually going to reverse the polarity to fix my problem. In my pretty printer. Reverse the polarity. Where is it? Come on, where are you? Did I check this? Nope. Come on, where are you, polarity? Yes, we have to reverse the polarity, so I need to take the absolute value, or I could do that. That should also work. It should work, let's say. I could take absolute value, but it's the same. It's fine. So yeah, that still doesn't work, which is not making me happy. I'm absolutely sure that that's what the reason is, though. So why is that? Example root, index out of range 12 with length 12 recovered. Oh, I'm gonna have to take one away. You know why? Yeah, I'm gonna have to take one away. because there's no 0. Yeah, let's try that. No. Yep, I did it. All right, because why? Yeah. All right, so minor version 0311. So we almost have everything working. Why is that not identical? That should be fine. Oh, look at my numbers are going to be off now, right? Class def. Why would you? Oh God, it's getting all the numbers wrong. That's not good. That's not good. That means that that means, well, yeah, this either I have something hard coded in here. Why do I keep getting sucked into fixing this ancient one every time instead of doing the new stuff? I'm tired of it. You know, it took me so. I mean, it's hard work to make this one in the version wrong. Yeah, I know. I see that, but they're off, right? They're not. It's not looking at the right ones. That means it's not looking at the right integers, which means that there's something wrong with the IDs. So the IDs are off. I think I actually might need to add one instead of reduce it by one. I think I did it wrong. I think it's supposed to be +1. Nope, that would be wrong. I'm just guessing. It's always a bad idea to just guess until your test case works. That's always a bad idea. I just did it for fun. So yeah, what's happening is my things are off by 1. That means that either I'm somehow I'm out of sync in my node stuff, and so I know what to do here. I just don't. So see these guys here, right? Something about them is off. So what is class def? So class def is, yeah, class def, token def, and token vol. So let's go look. So yes, here we go. See this? Class def, token def, and token val are showing up instead of major version stuff. So that means we're off by what? Class def is the first one, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're off by 5, which is probably about how many got deleted up here. Which means that somehow these didn't get removed from here. I could have swore they did though. And that means I'm out of sync somehow, and I gotta fix that. Obviously. I watched Platform yesterday. You guys ever watch that? That thing is so disturbing and accurate. Just very unresolved. That really kind of annoyed me. Finally watched it. Been stuffing it in my face forever, and I finally watched it. I'll never be able to say obviously again though after that. PEGN. No, Nd something. Alrighty then. A little bit of stuff here. Let's see, grammar. Oopsie. So what do we got? We got meta, copyright, license. Oopsie, there we go. Already there's our first one. Comment line got removed and is not removed here. Why not? Oh, I didn't even hit any of them. Definition is gone. Language, version. I could have swore I did this. Version. Have home, comment, node def, check def. Class def, token. Wait. Token def, token val is gone. It's a new thing, by the way. Lang XT, major version, minor version, patch. Pre-check, class, token, expression, class, sequence. Oopsie. Simple and spacing are containers, so they're gone. Simple and spacing. Then we have sequence, pause, look, negative look. I think rule goes too, right? Yep, rule. Pause, look, negative look, plain, primary and quant go. Now I remember. Optional. Optional min 0, min 1, min max, min max, count, range, unirange, alpha, int, bin, hex, oct, string. Whoops. Why is it written in there twice? That's interesting. I think this might have been wrong all along. Digit, Unicode, integer, binary, hex, octal, endline, classicity, token, code check. So this should actually potentially save it. I'm not going to save you though, but I will save you. All right, we close that one. And what? What's the dash at the start of the index? That's making negative. So the idea here is that it's changing it to be an index. So because these are all negatives. So I made the insignificant, check IDs, check defs are negatives. So if one shows up in our AST, we'll know it right away. And that's I think that's a good idea, because that way if you still want to leave it in, you can leave them in if you care about that, but they never ever will conflict with stuff that's incrementally into the nodes. Yeah. So we have range, range digit. That's interesting. Why did it use so many more? Oh, that's new. It didn't do that before. Huh. That is very interesting. It's like we're getting new errors we didn't have before, which is good. No. Yeah, AST examples. Unirange. This should be. No. What does the spec say on this? I think it says. Oh, wow. It put the range. Range is supposed to be insignificant, so that is a problem. And I don't think it's, you know what? This is really good, because this is helping us identify what's significant from insignificant. And that is a good thing. This is all stuff that might have bit us in the ass later. So, yeah. And let me go look at the grammar really quick. Range, I think, is an insig. Yes, this is two insigs. You see this? Two convenience functions. So alpha range is supposed to be the thing. So we should not be getting uni range. We should be getting uni range instead of range, which means that something's wrong with that particular parser. And that's good. That's actually really, really good that we caught that. So I need to look at this range parser and see. It should be an adopt from Unicode expect a dash. No, this is uni range. Let's see. Uni range. Those are checks. And we are going to go get that guy. And then what? This should not be range. Why is it range? It should not be range. It should be a uni range. Could I just be off by one? I bet you that's the more likely error. The more likely error is I got the numbers wrong. That's much more likely. And that range is still in here somewhere, because I just kind of eyeballed it. Or it could be. Yep, there it is. Bad. That was it. I'm so glad I didn't change any code for that. You know, I would have too, right? Um, when in doubt, Occam's razor. What's the most likely thing? The last thing you just change is the reason it's broken, not that you had the code wrong the whole time. So yeah. Uh, I'm super happy now because we fixed a bunch of problems here that are gonna bite us in the ass later. So I'm actually ready to do a build um, of the actual PEGN tool again and illustrate the point I was trying to make earlier. So go install. Will install a new version of PEGN, which I'm going to have to forcibly put in the right place because I'm so paranoid about losing a binary that does the parsing. So I can copy the local from. This it's probably not justified. If I were a better technologist, I wouldn't do this shit, but I'm not. So, then PEGN to here. I'm just putting it in forward in the past so that my PEGN shows up as this one, but I still have the other one if I want to use it. Why would I do all that? Because I'm about to regenerate this guy like we've been doing, and now it's going to have the new numbers in it. And these numbers are accurate, so these do not have to change with our other generator. And if you can remember, so copyright, right? Copyright is 6 now. And if we look at the old one, copyright is 10, right? And these types, we do not want them to change, people. We do not want these numbers to change. And so the reason I did this little tangent down, this separation is because it's so important that I get the right AST saved with the spec, including the binary ones that parse much faster. But as a point of reference, the long form is always going to be a more reliable indicator. So if you're messing with the grammar and short of getting the numbers completely wrong, so basically, if I was going to do this entire thing and then just write the JSON straight up, I would use this as my generator, which actually puts a little bit of weight behind allowing parsing for this. So Greg, yes, we definitely want to do this, but now we actually have the numbers. Right, I didn't have the numbers before because they were off, and if we had put those numbers in your JSON parser, they would have been wrong, right? And then we would have hard coded incorrect numbers into the JSON, into the the unmarshaller. And so now I think we're ready to get the marshaller in place because the numbers are in place and they should be good. If we have problems now, they're going to be based on schema problems and stuff in the thing, which are going to come out through generation, which again validates for me that the proper approach here is to start with code generation as opposed to writing parse functions. But it takes a real computer brain type of individual to just start with code generation. That's not me. So I had to start with something more simple, and that meant starting with a bunch of AST parsing functions and then tweaking those as we go, and that meant having these container parse functions that are check functions that don't they give up their children to the actual node as opposed to writing that code inline multiple times. And although the concept of that is not going to stick around in the code generation, it's probably going to be inline. Probably, we still don't know, but now we have the freedom because they're now negative numbers. So if we decide to include checks in the code generation, we can do that because they're all negative integers. And they're never going to stomp on the IDs of the significant ones, which is super duper cool. It's a lot to say, but let me just go through and make some more changes here. Git add -a dot git commit and separated check integer types from node types, and I'm going to delete the tag from first gold and I'm going to do a git tag -f first gold, and I'll do a git push, and then a git tags push tags, and that will give us our first gold again. All right, so yeah, we're good. We are good. And then we have the spec here, so I can move AST1 to AST without a problem. And get status, I can save this. Get add -8 out. And then what? And then we can save that. So git commit. Checks now don't increment node type integers. Okay, see you last miles. Nice. I some video games. Yeah, I'm git push. So now that's good to go in the spec. All right, and I might actually get on to some code generation. Depends on how much time and energy I have right now. But I'm feeling good about that. That went relatively well, all things considered. So I'm going to get out of this version, and that should free me up in my one file version. But now I can copy the AST over in the short form from the spec and use it reliably, since I don't have the long form parser enabled yet, which Greg's going to do another time. So we can put that here, and now I can use this in my tests, and we're good to go. So the PEGN stuff in here, it was using the AST to do its parsing, and it was off. The integers were off. And so now they're all corrected based on all that effort I just did. It's a good break point. I'm going to take about a 5-10 minute break. I do plan on coming back, but I just want to go check in with my wife. They just came back. Again, there's not going to be any streaming tomorrow as far as I know. I might do a little bit in the morning. But so yeah, when I come back, we will be hopefully doing at least generating the tokens, and we will be walking the AST node tree in order to do that. And we'll be generating some code to define the constants and be testing that code. So that's next. Where's Catner? Do you want to talk or walk or something? I'm gonna shut the stream now. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna go walk the dog. That's not a euphemism. I'm actually gonna walk the dog.